Straight out of the Wilson Pro Labs, the Wilson Blade Pro 16x19 version 9 has landed at Tennis Warehouse. It's here! The elusive Blade Pro features a Pro Tour mold from Wilson and delivers outstanding playability to advanced players. This rock-solid racket boasts a buttery 21.5mm beam, a 335-plus swing weight, yet a manageable strong weight of 11.4 ounces and a 16x19 string pattern. Experienced players who crave an extra solid feel at impact will love this one. This is your chance to try an absolute gem from Wilson Pro Labs. This was a really fun play test for me. I have nothing but good things to say about this racket. From the very first hit, I wasn't sure what to expect, but based on specs, I knew I would get dialed in, and it feels super solid at impact. Same beam thickness as my RF, but a significantly lower RA on this one, so it felt super plush and really nice. At contact, I really felt the ball in there. The swing weight is nice and hefty. I loved it on my forehand. I did struggle a tiny bit with this one on my backhand, getting around the ball. And I'm kind of blaming that on the high swing weight paired with the lower static weight compared to what I'm used to with my RF97. I don't often customize weight below the throat of a racket, but this is one where I might play around with a little tail weighting or even do the Troy special and throw a leather grip on there. However, at net, I love the response. I felt so comfortable and confident volleying with this racket. I could place the ball on a dime, really dialed in, and I absolutely love this one when returning. I need a little bit of extra control, and that hefty swing weight really gets paired well with my big swinging returns. On serves, I found I could hit nice, massive, big first serves and had plenty of spin to hit my second serves effectively as well. So all in all, this was a great play test. I do have to keep leaning on my RF97. Nothing is coming quite close enough to make the switch. However, if you are someone that does use the RF97 and maybe you're looking for something a little bit softer, this is one you definitely want to try. Now that's all I've got, but I am so excited to introduce you guys to one of our newest play testers. We have Oak. He has amazing perspective, super fun tennis player, and a great taste in tennis rackets.
Thanks so much, Michelle. What's up, everyone? I'm Oak, and I'm super excited to be on this playtest here for the Blade Pro 16x19 V9. And if you know me, I'm a little bit more of a fan of those frames with the square box beam geometry, and this is right in line with that. However, I was shocked to find the amount of power that this frame is wielding. Honestly, once you get the pocketing dialed in, it just really takes off on you. Either wing, really. I really enjoyed this frame up at net, all around the court, and the touch and the feel never really let up once for me. I also really enjoyed how this frame served. It felt like the touch was dialed in just enough, and the spin capability was also pretty high. I felt like I could place my serves with good location and depth, and at the same time maneuver the ball effectively. I also really enjoyed experimenting with smaller timing windows on this racket. Usually my motion is a little bit more elongated as opposed to compact. However, this racket really encouraged me to just minimize what I was doing, and anytime a racket is sort of fulfilling like that, I'm gonna pay close attention. But all in all, this was a really solid play test. I really enjoyed how this frame handled, and I'm excited to see more time on court with this. It's not quite extended enough for my take. I like a little bit more reach, especially on the defensive side. But all in all, this is probably the first blade that I would consider playing with. That's all for things here on the West Coast. Let's toss it over to Anna and Georgia.
Thank you. I got to start by saying that I was very excited to be part of this review. I got a chance to try out the Blade 100 and also the 98 version, but this was a whole different thing. It was a very humbling experience because it's a very different racket for what I'm used to playing. And if you get a chance to try it, you're in for a fun and interesting ride. With a swing weight close to 340, this racket not only helps you keep the ball in deep, but it was very solid when hitting in rhythm against heavy hitters. All I had to do was get the ball in front and the racket would do the rest. However, if I hit the ball out of time or a little bit late, it tends to not be as forgiving as other rackets I've played with. I could tell right away that this racket is not made for an average player. The shot I struggled the most was probably my backhand. I'm not very confident on that side, so I tend to hesitate a little more, and the racket was not forgiving on that side. You definitely need to be in great shape and great timing to take everything that this racket can offer. One adjustment I had to do was to step back a little from the baseline. Once I did, I was able to get a better timing of the ball. I do gotta say that this racket has a very launchy feeling and it felt a little too slow on my take back. I in general have a big take back, so it was hard for me to get in timing. But once I took that couple steps back, I was in a better position to get full advantage of what the racket can offer. Even though the racket felt kind of slow, one highlight for me was my serves. When I got the timing in and I was ready in a great position, my serves will come in fast and heavy. Compared to the 98 version, I will probably describe this new Blade Pro as more powerful and hefty, while the other version, the regular one, a little more lighter and more precise. Overall, this is a great racket, but specifically for a high-level player that's in great shape and it's able to get everything that this racket can offer out of.
Wilson created something really special with this new Blade Pro. Other than its amazing look, I love this green glossy finish. I thought the racket performed incredible on the baseline. The first thing that stood out to me is just how incredibly stable the racket head feels. You can definitely notice the higher swing weight right away as well. Our sample was around 340, so it is a bit heftier, but honestly, I did not mind that at all. Power was super easy to come by. I just loved how heavy my shots were on the baseline. Also, I do like to take the balls more on the rise, and this racket really allowed me to play my game and take the shots on the rise, and it never really got pushed around at all because it was just so stable. I especially enjoyed the racket on volleys. I always had a great sensation for where my shots will go. I almost felt like the racket was doing the work for me with many of my shots there. I had a very similar sensation during my returns also. I thought the racket was just so stable and I was able to step in and take control of the rallies very easily. And again, I did feel that the racket was just doing the work for me. If I had to come up with something negative, which honestly is really hard for me at this point, but the only thing I could say is that I did miss a little bit of spin. My racket of choice is the Pro Staff X, which does allow me to have a bit more access to spin naturally without having to work so hard for it. So that was the only thing I could mention. Otherwise, this racket is right head to head with my racket of choice, and it's a tough pick between the two. All in all, I will say that this racket is definitely for players that don't mind that heavier swing weight and are able to get the racket ready on time for each shot. But if you're one of those players who enjoys a heftier swing weight and a great feeling stable racket that looks amazing, definitely give this one a go. Thanks for watching. We strung up the new Wilson Blade Pro with Luxon Eco Spin and Luxon Alu Power at around 52 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please go check out Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.